Tracy Martinez.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Bayside High School. It is my pleasure to welcome you here. My name is Tracy Martinez, and it is my honor to serve as principal of Bayside High School. I'm delighted to welcome our diverse group of attendees, our dedicated labor leaders, elected officials, faith-based representatives, business partners, and community advocates who all make our city thrive. I would also like to acknowledge our city commissioners and our deputy mayors and all who work tirelessly to serve our residents. A very special welcome to Mayor Eric Adams. A proud Bayside alumnus who walked these very halls and exemplifies the heights our students can reach. We are honored to have Chancellor Melissa Villas Ramos with us today. Your leadership continues to transform our schools and create opportunities for all of our students. Thank you very much. A special welcome to our students that are here today. You represent the bright future of our city. Your presence reminds us why we do the work that we do and why it matters. Speaking of bright futures, I have the honor of introducing a remarkable Bayside High School student. Kaylee Marcus is a junior at Bayside High School. We are a shining example of educational excellence. Bayside stands as a wall-to-wall CTE school, a career technical education school. We have an impressive 98% graduation rate with over 3,000 students. Kaylee exemplifies the diverse talents of our students here at Bayside High School. As a student in the Digital Art and Design program, she brings creativity to everything she does. From her illustrations to her performance on stage, you might recognize her in our own high school rendition of Grease. Beyond her artistic achievements, Kaylee is on track to complete all of her graduation requirements by her junior year. This is a testament to her hard work and dedication. So please join me in welcoming Kaylee to the podium to introduce our mayor.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Marcus, and I'm excited to speak to you today. Throughout my time in school, I struggled with a stutter and interacting with people my age. In my time at Bayside High School, I have enjoyed many after-school programs such as Drama Club, where I gained experiences in acting. As a student in the Digital Art and Design CTE program offered here, I have enjoyed all the art courses I've been exposed to. These courses allowed me to be creative and express myself through my art. They have made me feel college and career ready. At Bayside, my teachers helped me to focus and learn better. The programs I have been a part of have helped me feel comfortable and helped me build a community that will last a lifetime. I struggled making connections and friendships in elementary school and middle school, but Bayside gives me a positive and inclusive community while also allowing me to gain real-world experiences and opportunities such as a character design internship. Bayside High School continues to encourage me to achieve my dreams. Many of my friends have similar experiences, and it matters when our schools and our leaders can understand us and fully support us. Bayside High School continues to deepen our connections with our alumni every day. We value their words of wisdom and guidance to support our continued success. Listening to their experiences is always so beneficial. Today, I'm honored to welcome another high school of Bayside alum back to our building. As a Bayside High School graduate, Mayor Eric Adams continues to support all public schools and actively demonstrate how valuable his time at Bayside High School was. With that, I'm honored to introduce the 110th Mayor of New York City and proud graduate of Bayside High School, Eric Adams. Yeah.
focused, no distractions, and grind. Stay focused, no distractions, and grind. There are only two types of Americans: those who live in New York and those who wish they could. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Just think about it for a moment. Looking at these young people, the diversity, coming from different backgrounds, different parts of the globe, just sitting here, just believing everything is possible. And there's a level of innocence that's attached to this moment. That, you know, their pathways are endless on what they could accomplish and what they could do. It's almost hard to believe. When I was backstage and I saw him, I said, he reminds me so much of me. You know, that energy. I had to sit in the first seat, in the first row in every class. My teacher had to watch me all the time. I was always in mischief, putting gum in someone's hair, you know, looking at my comic book instead of my work, all the things that were distractions. And you know what? It's a great moment, sitting on that stage and just looking at this building and this auditorium and leaving here as a student that was dyslexic. And now I'm returning as a mayor that's elected. What a feeling. And to my fellow New Yorkers, it is an honor to be back at Bayside High School here in Queens. I spent 4 years at this school, but I can't remember ever stepping foot on this stage. Who would have thought that almost 50 years later, I'll be performing in front of all of you, talking about a budget and the economy. Well, for this year's budget address, I wanted to do things differently. I wanted to deliver it in a place where you will soon be able to feel the impacts of our investments. And no one will feel the impact more than our students, because this is the best budget ever for families and young people. You are our future. But not only are these children our future, they are our present. And you are the reason we wake up every morning and the reason I dedicated my life to public service. I see myself in you, especially this one here. And I want you all to believe that someday you too can become mayor. You too can stand on this stage and manage the government of New York City. So when my team and I came together to develop this budget, I thought of my younger self and how my mother worked 3 jobs just to put food on the table for me and my siblings. She was betrayed by the city. This budget is for her, and it's for young Eric, who struggled in life and in school. And for all of you, this budget makes sure that you don't have to struggle the way my family and I did. It builds on the work of our team has done to make sure that New York City is the best place to raise a family and the best place to realize the American dream. This is not a budget that favors the few. It is a budget for all New Yorkers. In fact, it is no exaggeration to say that our fiscal year 2026 executive budget is the best budget ever. And let me tell you how. Next year, we are adding $1.4 billion to protect programs that were not funded in the coming year. Some had been funded with the short-term stimulus dollars that are expiring. And about $675 million of those programs are baseline. Baseline, what does that mean? That means the programs will be a permanent part of cities' budgets. Year after year, now and forever. Baselining means forever. So to my team behind me, when I say baseline, you say forever. Baseline. Forever. Baseline. Forever. I feel like we started the Grease performance. Baseline is forever. Baseline is forever. Great job. You get an A+ for that, and we're going to make sure we resonate that throughout the entire day. So that $1.4 billion also invests in making New York City the best place to live, work, and raise a family, no matter your means or your background. I'll say that again, over $1 billion of new money for New Yorkers' priorities. That's more than $1 billion of not worrying about whether your child has a place to go after school, whether you have the resources you need to stay in your home, if the streets will be clean enough to walk through, and so much more. Our fiscal year 2026 budget, executive budget, makes upstream investments in education, critical services, public safety, and most importantly, affordability, so that any of you can achieve your full potential and pursue your dreams without financial roadblocks. Let me share a few of our key investments. I'll start with after school for all. And I know you'll love that. Ann and I announced that yesterday. We went down the slide. She cheated and got ahead of me. 20 years ago, Mayor Bloomberg created a revolutionary program because he knew that learning doesn't stop when the school day ends. But since so many families still need childcare, we are now investing an additional $331 million to bring after-school programs to over 20,000 additional K-5 students over the next 3 school years. The total budget for after school now runs to $755 million, and this funding will be baseline. And if I said baseline, we say what? That's right. Funding for after school for all will be permanent forever. Our parents shouldn't have to choose between picking up their child or working to put food on the table. And by the start of the 2027 school year, more than 184,000 K-8 grade students will be able to attend after school for free. Like that, Commissioner Howard. Just by the mere fact you stood, Commissioner Howard, I know you were mischievous in school. With this investment, we are making life easier for families across the 5 boroughs for generations to come. And we did not stop there. We added $192 million more each year to protect early childhood education programs. That's right, DM. This includes support for free quality 3K and pre-K for students with disabilities. This funding will be baseline. And when I say baseline, you say? And we added funding to ensure that every student on a 3K wait list was offered a seat. We have also expanded the extended day programs for young children. This would allow parents to hold down a job or get an education while still having the comfort of knowing that their children are in a safe educational environment. These investments had previously been 1 year at a time. Now they are baseline. And when I say baseline, we say they are now permanently embedded in the city's budget. And, of course, our young people also included undocumented children. We are supporting Promise NYC. Where is he? I know he's out there somewhere. Where's Manny? For you, brother. A dreamer that's now living the dream. Promise NYC provides child care for children from families that are not eligible for federal subsidies due to their immigration status. To help our students learn and thrive, we are investing $150 million to reduce the size of our classes by hiring nearly 3,700 new teachers. That's right. Starting this fall, we will have nearly 3,700 new teachers across our public school system so that each child can receive the individualized attention they deserve. We're also investing $298 million for nurses so students can stay healthy. Funding for nurses is baseline. And when we say baseline, you say? Additionally, we are investing in arts education so that our children have the opportunity to play an instrument in their school, band, or perform in the production of Grease like the students here at Bayside High will be doing tonight. I would never have been able to perform in a production like that, but don't have the style or the grace of dance. But you know what? I also don't have the hair to put it on, you know? Even back then. But all joking aside, I strongly believe arts education should not be considered a privilege. It is an essential part of our students' learning experience. Who's performing tonight? Any of you performing tonight? Okay. Our new funding will also support computer science education, tutoring, teachers, recruitment, civics for all, and more. All of these programs are baseline. And when I say baseline, you say? That means they last forever and ever and ever. And I don't have these opportunities. I didn't have them growing up. But our administration wants to make sure that every New York City public school student benefits from them. You may not know it, but when I was young, I hated to go to school. I had a dyslexia that wasn't diagnosed for many years, so I struggled to learn how to read. Other children picked on me and called me stupid and dumb. It wasn't until college that I realized I just needed the right help. Now, our students can get the help sooner, more easily. We're expanding our groundbreaking New York City Reads program, which uses proven science of reading and phonics-based methods so that all of our public school students can flourish. Good job, Chancellor. And we are making sure that families who don't speak English fluently are able to communicate with their schools so their children have a chance to fulfill the American dream as well. That dreams includes higher education. And I am proud to have graduated from CUNY, our city's world-class college system that puts students on an upward path regardless of their background or means. In this budget, we are funding programs that help hard-working New York City college students stay on track to complete their bachelor's or associate's degree at CUNY. We are also permanently restoring $96 million of savings to the CUNY system so that it can continue to serve our students in the years to come. That restoration is Bayside. And when I say Bayside, we say? I hope many of you will be attending a CUNY school in the future so that you can continue to follow your dreams. Our cultural organizations keep our city vibrant and make it a great place to live and raise children and welcome people from all over the globe. Now, and yet another first, we're investing $45 million of support for organizations that enrich our lives across the 5 boroughs. You gotta love that diva Lori Cumbo. This includes museums, historical societies, and botanical gardens, as well as neighborhood groups. So find one that is closest to you or matches your interests and make sure to visit because we have something for everyone in NYC. Oh, wait, that funding is also baseline. If I say baseline, you say? Like our cultural institutions, our public libraries are priceless storehouses of knowledge. They are places where you can pick up a book, attend a class, use the internet, or cool down on a hot summer's day. And we are now adding more funding to support library operations citywide. That means we are adding funding to the New York, Queens, and Brooklyn library system as well as to our world-class New York Research Library. This is a big deal. Now these cultural institutions and libraries, as well as those who use and love them, will have peace of mind knowing they are secure. Our fiscal year 2026 executive budget looks out for the New Yorkers who need our help the most and protect services that strengthen our communities. By carefully managing our city finances and the role that OMB and Jock you have done for 3 years and 4 months, you have served this city well, Jock. We cannot thank you enough. Ça passe. We have been able to add nearly $840 million this fiscal year alone to protect services that were facing budget cliffs. These include Medicaid, rental assistance, foster care services, social services for seniors, New York City's cash assistance contribution, and shelters for victims of domestic violence. These investments are in addition to nearly $1.2 billion we invested for similar needs in the fiscal year 2026 preliminary budget. Give yourself a minute to just let that sink in. $1.2 billion plus $840 million more for our most vulnerable neighbors this year alone. And next year, we will be protecting $1.4 billion for other critical programs that are facing fiscal cliffs. We're in school, so let's do the math. That equals nearly $3.5 billion over 2 fiscal years to make sure that programs New Yorkers need and deserve will be available to them. That is what I have been thinking about. I have been thinking about this from day one as your mayor, what New Yorkers need, and it all starts with public safety. As a former NYPD officer who was one of the founders of 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, I know it is our duty to balance public safety with justice. We can and must have both. Today, New York City remains the safest big city in America, and under our watch, that will not change. Major crime was down by double digits over the first quarter of this year, especially shootings and homicides. which were at the lowest and second lowest levels in recorded history, respectively. Subway crime was also down by double digits. Now, we're tackling quality of life issues by creating a special 1,500-member division within the NYPD for that purpose. We will also bring on board 3,400 new police officers this year to put New York City on the path to having more than 35,000 uniformed officers by next fall. Job well done, Commissioner Tisch. I know she's here somewhere. And while more police officers are vital to responding crime, I've always said that we must also invest in upstream solutions to prevent young people from falling into the river of violence. When I was 15, I got on the wrong side of the law and was arrested, but I was given a second chance. Without that chance, I wouldn't be where I am today. And all New Yorkers deserve that same opportunity to turn their lives around. That is why we are investing in providing lawyers to people who can't afford them. This protects them. It protects their constitutional right to counsel in criminal cases. We're also funding alternatives to incarceration, reentry service, job training, behavioral health care, and more. And all of this funding is baseline. And when I say baseline, we say they're going to wake up in their sleep saying, baseline. This administration has always believed that a bend in the road should not be the end of the road. It should be an opportunity to make the turn, and that only upstream solution combined with enforcement would keep our city safe in the long run. Public safety includes safer infrastructure, which is why we are doubling down on our efforts to make sure our city buildings and parking structures meet or exceed safety standards. So we are adding extra staff to the FDNY's Bureau of Fire Prevention and increasing the New York City Department of Buildings' capacity to process inspection reports and enforce guidelines related to parking structure. We're giving you the help you need, Jimmy, so to make sure we keep this city safe. A great educational system, quality child care, and a safe city are only the beginning. To make New York City the best place to raise a family, we must also tackle our generational housing and affordability crisis. My own family struggled with housing insecurity. My mother would sometimes send me and my siblings to school here at Bayside with garbage bags filled with our clothes because we didn't know if we would be able to return home at the end of the day and not have the marshals throw us out. I know that it is much harder to succeed in school, hold down a job, or take care of your family if you are constantly worrying about whether or not you have a roof over your head. That is why we are investing an additional $46 million to bring the total to $339 million over the next few fiscal years. This will revitalize city's 15 for 15 supportive housing initiative and create and preserve over 5,800 supportive homes. These affordable homes will provide vulnerable New Yorkers with a place to call their own. Great job, HPD. As well as social services that build on our work tackling homelessness and severe mental illness. This program, to my crew that's behind me that's getting restless, this program is going to be baseline. And baseline means what? We're also fully funding the Manhattan Plan that we announced in our State of the City address earlier this year to rezone parts of borough and unlock an additional 100,000 homes for New Yorkers over the next decade. Where's Dan? Good job, Dan, what you're doing. All of this builds on the unparalleled record we have achieved on housing. We made history last year when we passed our landmark legislation of City of Yes for housing opportunity, which will create 80,000 new homes over the next 15 years. City of Yes, combined with our neighborhood rezonings, would deliver 30% more units of housing in less than 4 years than the previous 20 years combined. combined. This is nearly double the projections during my friend Michael Bloomberg's 12 years in office and nearly 4 times the projections of my friend Mayor de Blasio's administration. To make city more affordable, we have also previously fought and won the expansion of the earned income tax credit. And last year, we launched $2 billion of medical debt relief, and we are very hopeful that this year in Albany we will pass Axe the Tax for the Working Class. This will eliminate and cut city personal income taxes for 582,000 filers and their families. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And put $63 million back into their pockets. We're also maintaining our investment in the Fair Fares NYCD program, which makes public transportation more affordable for eligible New Yorkers. And once again, we're providing free Metro cards for summer youth employment participants. I hope all of you have put in your application for the program this summer. New York City values our older neighbors as well as our youth. We are proud to restore funding for the Departments for the Aging's core programs like older adult centers and home-delivered meals. This funding for your grandmothers is baseline. And so you can tell your grandmothers baseline means what? Another necessity for New Yorkers is broadband internet. That is why we are continuing to offer free broadband and cable to over 150,000 NYCHA families across 200 developments as part of our Big Apple Connect. We are funding staffing for our hiring halls to be able to better serve every New Yorker who wants a job, and we're expanding our capacity to offer advice and technical assistance to small businesses. This funding is baseline, and we know that means forever. And because our city should look as good as the people who live here, our budget commits annual funding to maintain litter pickup and to service litter bins and parks and greenways. This funding is also baseline. But we know there are still violators out there who don't prioritize cleanliness. So we are adding funding every fiscal year to continue targeting cleaning of public spaces in areas with persistent littering. This is also baseline. New York City is the greatest city in the world, and our administration has never shied away from thinking big to ensure we remain the greatest. We're thinking big on childcare, big on housing, on sanitation, and now we're thinking big on infrastructure. In fiscal year 26, preliminary budget, we announced the city's largest 10-year capital plan at $170 billion. Today, we're beating that record by increasing the capital plan to a record $173 billion over the next decade. This investment will result in much-needed improvements to our infrastructure, delivering on generational projects that we talked about for decades but never achieved until we came into office. This includes better roads, bridges, schools, and libraries, more housing, improved water and sewer facilities, and more reliable transportation system across the 5 boroughs. Along with other major projects we have announced in each borough, we're adding matching funds to support the Brooklyn Marine Terminal project, which will support the Harbor of the Future. We are also committing another $250 million to fully fund the 5th Avenue of the Future project. This plan reimagined this iconic street from Bryant Park to Central Park with a focus on pedestrians. It would also support all the businesses that line 5th Avenue and contribute millions to our economy. And we are funding improvements for public waterfront access to the Hunts Point Market in the Bronx. Every item we are listing today is a result of strong fiscal management over 3 years. Despite facing 2 storms, the COVID-19 pandemic and the influx of asylum seekers, our administration has succeeded in helping New York City thrive by keeping a cool head and taking decisive action. If you don't believe me, listen to the experts. The 4 internationally recognized independent agencies. The rating agency repeatedly upheld our strong bond ratings. They have praised our strong fiscal management and resilience. They're saying you can trust New York City today and in the future. Now, the numbers. Pay attention because they are important, and there'll be a quiz after. The fiscal year 2026 executive budget is balanced at $115.1 billion. Our policies have set the table for a strong local economy. This growth along with the growth in the national economy, this has enabled us to increase our tax revenue forecast in this plan by $1.7 billion in fiscal year 2025 and $1 billion in fiscal year 2026. We know New Yorkers work hard for their money, and that's why we have remained focused on saving taxpayers' dollars. In this plan, I'm proud to announce that we have achieved savings of nearly $2 billion over fiscal year 25 and 26. That includes nearly $1.5 billion in asylum seeker savings. Thanks to our strong fiscal management, we were able to achieve these savings without cutting programs or services, without raising taxes on New Yorkers by a single penny, and without one layoff of any city worker. That is impressive. Strong fiscal management also means maintaining reserve as a hedge against the unexpected. That is why our administration has set aside a record $8.5 billion. This is the highest level of budget reserves in New York City's history. It includes $2 billion in our rainy day fund, also a record level. And all of these factors together make our fiscal year 2026 executive budget the best budget ever. However, we see uncertainty on the horizon due to recent federal policies, shifting tariffs and trade action, immigration and regulatory policies shifts. The pace of job gain is also slowing. Economic uncertainty has increased. Wall Street profits have been strong but are expected to slow, and markets are in flux. We will closely monitor the impact of the federal administration's action in our national, state, and local economies, and we are ready to stand up to make sure New Yorkers get every dollar they deserve. And rest assured, we will stay true to the strong fiscal management that has guided our administration and ensure that New York remains the safest big city in America and the best place to raise a family. When I think about the young Eric Adams who came to school here every single day struggling with dyslexia, thinking about how I could support my mother, unsure about what my life would look like. These are the investments that my family and I needed, but never got. Our best budget ever changes that, and family gives working people the support they need to thrive in the greatest city in the world. It tells every New Yorker, your city has your back, now and forever. We didn't do this alone. I also invited our 4 deputy mayors who worked with us to make this happen, to ask them to join us and happen automatically. I thank you for your contribution. And I thank our new deputy mayors who picked up the baton and continue. Our new deputy mayors, can you stand up? Thank you so much. The continuation of the progress. And let me say this to the students who are here. Thank you. Thank you. Just as you standing at my back, I got your back. And I want to tell you, don't aspire to be perfect. Just aspire to be dedicated. You're going to make mistakes. There are going to be days where you're going to wish you got out of bed, and you're going to be days you wish you didn't get out of bed. You're going to stumble. You're going to fall. People are going to talk about you. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to tell you what you can't do. They're going to call you names. They're going to look at you and expect for you not to be who you want to be. But tell all of your colleagues and all of your friends that there was a little boy in this school called Eric Adams. They called him the dumb student. They said he'll never make anything in his life. But right now, you're sitting on the stage with that little young student that now is the mayor of the city of New York. I cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to